pregame.com.
Sunday morning, the Tennessee Titans visit the Indianapolis Colts. Colts coming off a huge win on the last play of the game. We've seen it all week. Andrew Luck hit the running back, floating out of the backfield. I know Chuck's grimacing over there. He had Detroit, and we were just talking about beforehand. Don't you protect the goal line, not just the end zone, but everybody for Detroit was in the end zone. Anyway, getting off point, I want to go to VR. This is his best bet of the week.
Best bet, baby.
And tell us who and why.
All over it. I absolutely love the Tennessee Titans in this matchup. Not only are you getting line value, but I think just the way these two teams match up, the numbers giving you a huge advantage here. Bottom line is this. Wise guys were a week late fading the Indianapolis Colts. Here's a team that's 6-1 straight up their last 7 games, 6-1 against the spread their last 7 games. More importantly, they're catching a lot of public money week in and week out. Usually a team's going to be overvalued, and in our business, the point spread becomes the great equalizer. I'll take the worst team over the best team if you give me enough points. And most thought that Indy wasn't getting enough points last week, and they piled up money on Detroit, and the betting public laughed all the way to the bank when Indy backdoored them. But when you look at this
wise guys were on Detroit, public on Indianapolis.
Well, this week, I think you're going to get more of the same.
Yeah.
If you haven't been riding the Indianapolis train, that one's left the station.
Yeah.
Don't get on them right now. You're getting absolutely no value. These two teams played about a month ago, and Tennessee was a 3.5-point home favorite. The math just doesn't add up to make Indy now 5.5. Sure. This game's going to go to 6 by game time.
I believe
easily.
You're right. Yes.
So the math don't add up. And when you look at that first game, Tennessee had a lead in the fourth quarter. And don't get me wrong, Luck, RG3, Wilson, these guys are showing that they could come back. They could have game-winning drives. I get it. But when you look at these two quarterbacks, the quarterback passer rating, as good as Luck's going to be, his passer rating is 76.1.
Yeah.
He's got 17 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and completes only 55% of his passes. When you look at Locker, his passer rating, 77. If you look at his touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 57% completions. Almost identical, except Locker's just a little bit better statistically, but Luck's a little bit better at winning games. I think that's the difference there. And if you really break down even the advanced metrics, you look at Indianapolis, these two teams are so close. Offensively, they average 5.7 yards per play. You look at Tennessee, they average 5.6 yards per play. When you look at defensively, Indy allows 6.1 per play. Tennessee allows 5.9 per play. So they're as evenly matched as you're going to get. The line, you're getting line value. You're getting an overvalued team right now when their stock's at its highest.
Yes.
Apple's a great company, but there's a point that you don't want to buy it anymore.
You don't want to buy them at 600.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what's happening with Indianapolis right here. So I absolutely love the Tennessee Titans. And don't be afraid to sprinkle a little something on the money line, because the way that Indy came back last week to win that game, I've seen letdowns before in my life. If I remember correctly, Indy had that big win against Green Bay, kind of the same way, and then the following week, they didn't do as well.
A young team. That's a mark.
That's what happened.
Let's hear from Chuck Edel.
And you talk about a young team. This is a team who's never been favored by more than 3 points all year. This is their highest. Now they always say the hunter, the hunted. Now all of a sudden they're a 5.5-point favorite. And I agree with VR. If you look up and down the schedule, there's no team that's more overvalued right now than the Indianapolis Colts. Let's face it, they were down in that game. They were down 12 points with 2.5 minutes left. Yeah, give them some credit, but also knock Schwartz and Detroit Lions defense in the head, too, because they let him come right down the field and get within 5, and then, of course, the last play of the game to win the game. But that was a team. They were trailing pretty good the whole game. The line discrepancy, if you go back about a month ago, like you said, they were a 3.5-point favorite. Tennessee was a 3.5-point favorite. So now the coach should be around 2.5, maybe playing a little better, maybe 3.5. All of a sudden, it's 5.5. It's Locker. Even though last week, they played Houston. They lose 24-10. They had 6 turnovers in that game, and
they outgained them.
Yeah,
they outgained them.
Locker threw for 309, which he brought up about that. But I could easily see this game, Colts winning by a field goal or Tennessee winning by a field goal. It's going to be that kind of game.
Let me ask both of you guys this question. What if, because the Colts win the game on the last play of the game. What happens if they don't win? Just you erase one play. Is this over 4?
No.
Is it over? There's no chance it's over 4.
No.
So you're getting a 1.5 at this point in time. I think you're right though. I think this game does go to 6. Mm-hmm. We do talk about it. You want to buy low, sell high.
Perfect example.
Yeah, you cannot find a better example than this. Yeah. Okay, we have talked about it. Let's go ahead. We're going to make it official.
Indy at Tennessee rematch from a month ago when Tennessee was a 3.5-point home favorite. One of the bettors I respect most in the NFL that rides streaks has been betting the Colts each and every week, cashing tickets with them. This week, said no way, absolutely not. Now the line's too high. If they're staying off them, I'm staying off them as well. This is just a little too many points. Sprinkle something on the money line. These teams are a lot more evenly matched than the point spread reflects. You know, Tennessee could run the football. They average like 4.8 yards per carry. And when you look at the Indianapolis Colts, you could run on that team easily. They allow 4.7 yards per rush. So I think Tennessee's going to run the football, be in the game from start to finish, and get the money for us.
You know, if Indianapolis doesn't win another game the rest of the year, you'd still say they have a very good.
A hell of a season,
right?
A hell of a season.
They've already gone. They went over their.
Dude,
they had 2 wins. Right. They went over the win.
Even when they lost by 30 to Chicago, Tennessee's outgained their last 3 opponents in yardage. But even that 4th game when they lost to Chicago by 30 points, Chicago only outgained them by 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, I looked at that when I was looking at my Chicago, Minnesota bet. Okay, my best bet is coming up next on the 49ers and the Miami Dolphins.
Somebody up there north.
Yeah. He's building a following.
Reno's office,
in San Fran, right? Or San Francisco.
Careful.
Oh, there we go. I forgot about that.
You can see all our videos, before we lose it here, you can see all our videos at pregame.tv.
We have to do